Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. So I've just been filming little bits and pieces over the last few weeks, just kind of getting into the holiday spirit. So I decided to put it all together into a vlog. So it's from multiple different days. Honestly, this with the candy cane green tea is probably from like November 1st. So I made us a cup of tea, and then I had these pumpkin donuts still in the freezer, so I had a few of those with it. And then I got right into the Hallmark Christmas movies. I love having these on in the background while I'm doing other things. It's just super festive, and I usually start doing that like November 1st, sometimes before Halloween, but I try to wait until after. And then I went downstairs and I pulled out all of our like boxes and bags because we just reuse them every year. I just wanted to see like what I had. And I also have this kind of like wrapping paper holder station thing that I thrifted a few years ago, so I just brought that up and put it on the back of my office door to see if like I needed anything else, because I usually thrift all this stuff. So but I didn't really need anything. I have some of this amazing vintage wrapping paper. I've been like, just use a little bit of it every year. I used one of the rolls as like a background recently when I filmed a video, but I'm very well stocked on basically everything. But I had thrifted some, I'm pretty sure, bows in my like Christmassy stuff, so I knew I had some of those to add to it. I actually ended up having a lot more, so I might even just donate some because I probably won't use them all. But this was the day that I filmed my Christmas haul, so that way I could start using the things. And on this particular day I decided to tackle the closet filled with things to sell. This is like a very not so bad shot of it. It was much worse. But while I was doing that, it must have been like a sign or something, because we got a shipment of packing boxes came to our door. We got a huge shipment this time. It was like 2 massive boxes, but it was really awesome. So as I was organizing that closet, that a shipment came. So I decided to continue on watching the Hallmark movies in the background while I got my boxes and stuff organized. Typically with these movies, I'm not really like full on watching them. They're kind of on in the background. And so I thought I heard a familiar voice. So I looked up and I was like, I think that is Meredith Baxter, who played the mom on Family Ties. And so then I noticed that it's the dad from Family Ties too. And they were both on it playing parents. I just thought that was just really neat. So then this is clearly another day where I made us some breakfast, which was really amazing. And then I started decorating on this day, which was so exciting. So I wanted to put on a Christmas sweater. So I found this Snoopy one. This is my favorite Christmas sweater I think I have. And it's really thin, so I thought it wouldn't be too bad. Put on a Christmas record. I just got this one this year. I changed my phone case. I have this really cute, like vintage kind of looking one that I love so much. I rarely ever change my phone, like only when I have to, so I can just keep using the same case for years. So the next day, I didn't film myself decorating because I filmed that in a separate video, which is already posted. But the next day we were going out to Source, which we've been doing every weekend for a few weeks now. And we were at this mall, and I thought that water feature was really cool. And then I realized, oh, wow, there's actually fish in here. And then it made me feel really bad because animals shouldn't have to live that way. But in any case, we had a great time sourcing and all that. Found lots of great things to flip. But when we came home, I think this might have been the next day, we decided the living room had been decorated. Like I said, I filmed that already. But I made us some hot chocolate, the first one of the season, which was so delicious. And we decided to watch our first Christmas movie this season, because I don't really count the Hallmark ones, but we're watching Holiday Inn by Irving Berlin with Bing Crosby and Fred Astaire. This is one of my favorites. It's generally the one that I watch first, usually like that or White Christmas. It was such a mood with the hot chocolate and the room being decorated. And I love Christmas so much. Marley was being really cute. She got in underneath the tree in the back corner. I was saying I should put a blanket back there for her, and I bet she would just sleep under the tree if we let her. Luckily, she's old enough that she doesn't really bother with the tree or anything, but when she was younger, she would like climb up the tree. It was a nightmare. Yeah, I love this movie so much. It's, in my opinion, I think it's even better than White Christmas. I don't know, I love White Christmas too, but I'm thinking about making a whole video dedicated to some of my favorite classic Christmas films, because I feel like people really just talk about like maybe the same 3 or 4, but there's so many good classic Christmas films that don't really get talked about enough. So the next day I had quite a bit of cleaning that I wanted to get done. So I'm starting in the bedroom here, and it's funny that the air conditioner is out. I'm decorating for Christmas and the air conditioner is still in use. But basically I had to like change the sheets on the bed. I had some laundry to fold and just like a bunch of things I was doing in the bedroom, so I decided to throw on a Christmas movie. So I had got this magazine in the mail a couple days earlier, and Lindsay Lohan was on the cover, and I was like, oh, that's weird, you never hear from her anymore, or at least I don't pay that much attention to pop culture, but apparently she had a new Christmas movie coming out on Netflix. So when I had seen that, I thought, oh, I should put that on, see if the Netflix ones are less cheesy than the Hallmark versions. And I did watch it, and side note, they are not any less cheesy. It was a cute movie though, so I can't say it was like a bad movie or anything. It's just those types of movies are just super cheesy, and if you've seen one, you've basically seen them all. They kind of all follow the same cheesy plot line in some way, but they're very nice, like background festive noise. So after I got done like with the bed and all of my laundry and kind of cleaning my closet a little, John usually just does his own laundry, so his clean laundry was there, just needed to be folded and put away, so I did that for him while he was working. And then I had just found the day before this like Jack Skellington sweater that I decided to keep for myself, and so I had just washed that. I was also planning on covering our window in this plastic. It helps you like save on heating costs. This one was actually just like left by the previous owner, so I was going to do our bedroom window, but then I realized that it wouldn't actually fit that window, so we had to buy another one, which I still haven't done it yet, but I probably will be soon doing that. But we had moved our electric fireplace insert up into our bedroom. We have oil heat, so we try to supplement with electric sometimes. We also have a heat pump, so since the cost of heating seems to be skyrocketing, we're trying to take as many measures as we can to save on that. So I'm down here in the basement, and I had a whole setup down here with like Halloween themed VHS, and I wanted to switch it out for Christmas, so I did that. Which it looks amazing. Side note, you can probably tell like it looks a bit different, but basically we're making like a video store in our basement. It's kind of how we're setting our movies up. It's super cool. I'll probably share the whole thing sometime, like probably after Christmas. It's not done yet, so, but it is a very cool experience. And then I feel like it's not really showing up, but the first snow started falling and I was so excited. I had said to John earlier that day, I feel like snow's coming. I can just feel it in the air. It's coming soon. And then it ended up coming that day, but I feel like it's not really showing up on camera too much. It was very like fine flakes coming down. So as you could probably tell by that last clip of the VHS and movies, we have a ton that we own, and I love watching a ton of movies. It's my favorite part about Christmas, is watching Christmas movies and listening to Christmas music. So every night, or most every night, we've been watching a movie. We usually start around 7 o'clock. So it was movie time again, and it's so cozy having the living room decorated. So on this night, we were watching A Christmas Carol. We're watching I believe it was 1984 with George C. Scott. I'd actually never seen this version. I don't know why. I just thought it would be not as good as the older versions. Like, I love the ones from the 30s and the one from the 50s and one from the 70s. I mean, I feel like there's a million versions, but I was actually very impressed with the performance, and I should have watched it a long time ago and not had those negative feelings about it. But yeah, so this is the next morning. I usually get up super early, like way before John. So I decided to look through the vintage cookbook that I had picked up this year to see if there was any recipes that I might want to make. And I noticed there was a recipe for fruit cake, and that has me very intrigued, and I kind of want to make one. I've never made one before. I actually really love fruit cake, but I haven't had it for probably 20 years. So I don't know. I think that would be something fun to make. Also festive, because, you know, fruitcake, Christmas. I feel like it's probably not as popular as it used to be. And then I noticed these little snowman buns, and this reminded me that my grandma used to make something like this, but not snowmen. She would make them into bunnies at Easter time. And I thought that was, I just totally forgot about them until I seen the snowman. I thought, oh, wait. So then once John got up, I decided to make us a little breakfast. So I'm making some homemade like vegan egg yolk type thing. We're just having, you can use this stuff called black salt. I think I've mentioned it before here, but it makes things taste like egg. It's very sulfuric. It's kind of weird. I don't really fully know like why, but we were having some homemade bread, toasted, dipped in this egg yolk, and it's like such a cozy, comforting breakfast. We just had it this morning when I'm recording this voiceover. And this day, I decided to film all of my flocked ornament collection, so that video is already up as well if you missed it, but I have a lot and they're my favorite kind of ornaments, so I thought putting them all in one video would be kind of fun. And I used the vintage wrapping paper as like the backdrop because I thought it would be cute looking. And then I decided to do some food prep, usually like not every day, well, especially not lately, but every week I definitely try to do food prep, and I do like bulk food prep. And so on this day I was making some vegan bologna, and the secret ingredient to bologna, even not vegan, is nutmeg. I did not know this until I made it myself, but it's like the key ingredient that makes it taste the way it does. So I made some bologna, and then while the bologna was cooking, I decided to slice this turkey roast that I had made the day before, and I also made some tofu bacon. And I had never sliced turkey before like this, so it was an experiment, but it turned out super, super good. So I'm excited about that. And then we've got this vegan cheese here that I used to make like clubhouse sandwich, because I had made the bacon and turkey and I thought, ooh, we should have a clubhouse sandwich. So I made that, and John went down to this little restaurant that opened near us and bought some fries, and it was so good. So then I wanted to bag up all of the like turkey and things that I had been slicing, so I've got to put in the freezer. So I made this, one of those like fancy, expensive bag organizers that were super trendy a little while ago. I actually just made it using contact paper and a glue gun and some foam board, and it is amazing. But I definitely would not pay what they were charging for them like on Amazon. I think they were like $50 or $60 just for like a bag organizer. So I got my turkey all bagged up, and then it was time for the bologna slicing. So I did that. But after I did that, or maybe before I did it, I decided to have a cup of tea. So this is the tea that I showed, I think, at the very beginning. What I was showing before was just what was left from last year, but I actually bought this box last year too, because it's my favorite like holiday tea, but I'm always afraid they're not gonna have it the next year, so I like to buy an extra box, and it's still sealed, but I thought I would show that. It's super good, and I love that it's decaf as well. So while I was having my tea, drinking it, I had washed all of my cleaning cloths, because I just use reusable ones and wash them. I had thrown those in the washer earlier, so I folded all of those and put those away. And I also got a HGTV magazine in the mail, which is one of my favorite magazines, and it was like holiday themed. And my grandma had sent me a birthday card as well, but I was using it to cover my address. So I got all of the bologna sliced, and then I had pepperoni as well that I had made that I sliced. So I've got all of my stuff sliced and in the freezer, which feels great. I like to just do like big bulk batches of things, and then I don't have to worry about it for a while, and then you kind of have easy convenience food, but it's like healthier because you made it yourself, so it doesn't have a bunch of weird ingredients in it. While we were out thrifting a few days prior, I had gotten this little toy on a stick for Marley because I thought she might like it, because we had got her a mouse and she never really played with toys, so we never really had many for her, but she had been enjoying the mouse, so she was being really cute. And then John had gone out, and there was actually like this big medication shortage in Canada, so I got a little bit worried about like medications that we use, like not being able to have them. So John went out and did like a huge stock up. I mean, not really, it's not like a hoarding stock up, but like we wouldn't buy like more than one of something, except that there's like seems to be a shortage, so I was just a little bit concerned. So we needed some bulbs too, but those were the wrong ones. I think that's why I was focusing on them for so long. But particularly cold and flu medication seems to be like, there seems to be a shortage, so he did find one. But I mainly was concerned about the pills that I take when I get migraines, which these are one of the only pills that really do anything. It doesn't even take the migraine away, it just dulls the pain a bit. So he was able to get 2 of those, and then we just got some regular Tylenol. Not the Tylenol we normally get because they were sold out of that. Some Gravel for nausea. And yeah, he said this was the only cold and flu medication that was available. So here you're getting a nice shot, or a more wider shot of the video store. So it was time to pick the movie for that night. I have to say, I set it up that way for practical reasons, but being able to go down there, it gives you that feeling like of going into a video store because you're browsing the movies. It's really cool. Anyway, we decided to watch Daddy's Home 2, which is one of my favorite modern Christmas films. Like, I can't imagine not watching it now. I think it's so funny, and I was extremely happy because I noticed when I was setting up the Christmas movies that A Very Brady Christmas was missing, but it was just still in the DVD player, so clearly we haven't watched a DVD since last year. We were having a little snack with our movies, or with our movie. John was gonna have these organic cloud things. They're actually pretty good, but they're jalapeno, and so they're too hot for me. So I just had some regular kind of like plant-based cheesies. I think they taste just like cheesies, but I also haven't eaten cheesies in over a decade, so I could be like way off, but to me they taste really good, so I enjoy that. And then I'm also just having a Zevia, which is like soda, but it's like no sugar. It's just basically just flavored to taste like soda, but it's like carbonated water, I guess. Marley's always down for a movie as well, and again, just the ambiance is so amazing. So then after the movie, before bed, I like to read in like a magazine a little bit over like a book, because I just get too tired and then I don't end up reading that much of the book anyway. So I was reading some of the HGTV Christmas magazine, which I love that magazine so much, but I also love Christmas. So I was I think I really like that doormat. So then the next day, I was back to doing some prep. I had prepped these veggies and stuff the day before, but I cubed up some of the turkey to make like a turkey soup for John. He really likes eating soup for lunch or dinner every day. So just some celery and onion I had cut the day before, along with the cubed up turkey. I'm saying turkey, but it's like vegan turkey. So I did that, and then I added some like faux chicken vegetable stock. It just tastes like chicken stock, but it's not actually made from chicken. I don't know. And then I added some frozen vegetables in as well. I was just making like a super simple soup. And then I usually have a big salad every day, so I'm usually having salad. John's eating soup. So a few hours later, it was basically ready, and I just cooked some pasta and put in it, so it's kind of like a turkey noodle vegetable soup, I guess. Lately I've been using these shells, so I just kind of cook them, I would say maybe like halfway done, and then add them to the soup, and then they kind of finish cooking a little bit, but it makes it so that they don't get too soft. I I took this video to actually just show John because she's so cute, but I thought I would include it in here as well. She's so sweet. She sleeps on the back of the couch underneath like our heat pump, so it's nice and toasty there for her. And it snowed like more significantly than it had. It was like this was the most snow we had got up until this point. We actually didn't realize it was snowing. I think I just happened to look out the window or something and was like, wow, it's snowing. And the flakes coming down were really big. And so this is a little bit of a shot of our outside here. So we just put, I think I had mentioned in my decorating video, John had decorated the outside while I was decorating the inside. We just have these kind of vintage inspired colored lights going down the rails, and then I have these vintage blow molds, like candle blow molds. I love them so much. And then we have just some like colored or white lights on the kind of going across the top of our house. And we actually have a really cool vintage 70s wreath too, which I'll show at some point. So this was the next day. We were going out on another thrifting trip. We've typically been going every Saturday, and then we use Sunday to like get everything organized and start listing stuff. But I was super excited because it had kind of snowed, and so I was like, I'm gonna put on my like faux Uggs because it's like being able to wear slippers outside. I feel like people say they're not really in style anymore, but I don't care about stuff like that, so I still wear them because they're super comfortable, especially if you're going out thrifting for like 8 or 9 hours. So it was a very exciting day. So before we left, we usually leave really early, we decided to come down because we have this like really tiny little community. I don't know what you would call it. It's like a little mini mall maybe, but it just opened back up. But it was actually here and open when I was a kid and lived here. And so it was very surreal being inside. So we got a coffee and a bagel, and I just brought some dairy-free cream cheese with us. So it was so good though, and it was so cool being there. And it was so pretty on the drive, especially in the early morning before the sun had kind of melted everything off of the trees and stuff. But very exciting. So this day I actually filmed a thrift with me at my haul. I posted that 1 or 2 videos ago if you missed that. So I didn't film, any of that, but that was just us arriving. But after we were done, we went to Starbucks, which it was my first Starbucks of the season. I love the peppermint mocha. I just get it made with soy. So good. And these vegan peanut butter cups are amazing as well. And then we had to drive right home, and we actually didn't even have time to go home. We drove right to the theater because we were seeing a Fleetwood Mac cover band called Gypsy. They were amazing. They were so good. I can't believe how good they are and how they're not more well known. Like, they're just really known in our kind of area of the country, which is crazy. It was so much better than I thought it was going to be, but obviously you weren't allowed to like film anything, and I kind of like that they make it that way at the theater because people should just, be present and not be trying to capture the moment. But it was seriously so amazing. And then that was just a shot of all of the stuff that we had bought because we brought it in the next morning. And then right now I am making some homemade mac and cheese because I really wanted something comforting because it had got really cold outside. So this is a recipe that was from a place I used to work, so I'm not going to give it out, but it's really good homemade mac and cheese. And I just used this cheese that they actually started selling in the little like mini mall. They have a little grocery store in there. And yeah, John went down there one day and he was like, look at all this vegan cheese they had down there. So we had a whole bunch on hand. So it was perfect. It was like super, super comforting. And then to go along with that, I had some of this breaded tofu I had made frozen in the freezer as like a nice convenience food. So I decided to make that, toss it into like hot sauce, so make it kind of like little tofu wing fries or something like that. Anyway, it was amazing. It was like just what we needed too, because we were really busy all day getting all of that stuff organized and listed. I had posted at my haul, so I just got done that. As soon as I got done filming the haul, I was straight to putting this Nutcracker record on, which was so good. I love the Nutcracker, and I love Tchaikovsky. He's my favorite composer. And this record was weird. I was trying to find, side one. So side 1 and side 4 are on the same record, and then side 2 and 3 are on the other record, which I thought was really interesting. I don't know if I've ever come across that before, and I have quite a few double records, but it was really odd that they would do it that way. Then I noticed it was snowing again, which again, it doesn't seem to be really coming up on camera too much, but later I believe I showed. But the mac and cheese takes a while in the oven. I think it was like 40 or 45 minutes, but it was well worth it. In fact, just looking at this footage makes me want to make it again today. It's so good. So we enjoyed that. I have a little like plant-based ranch on the side for dipping, but now you can see this was the most snow that we had got, and I was so happy. I felt like crying. I was so happy because I love it when it snows before Christmas. So because it had snowed that much, I was like, we have to watch White Christmas today. It's a sign. We have to watch White Christmas. Usually I like to space out White Christmas and Holiday in a little bit more because they are quite similar, but I couldn't help it. I had to see it that night, and I'm so glad we watched it. So I'm just having some microwave popcorn with a little seasoning on it, but this was such a vibe knowing how much snow was outside, and it was all cozy inside, and we had like worked hard all day doing all of our listing and stuff. So this was like a really nice way to end the weekend because this was on a Sunday. And I don't know, White Christmas is so good. I know I just said I think Holiday Inn's better. I do think Holiday Inn has a slight edge over White Christmas, but I also have a really soft spot for black and white movies, and this movie was made in the 50s, so it was color, whereas Holiday Inn I think was like 1941 or 42. But in any case, they're both great movies. Bing Crosby's the man. But this was just such a vibe that I look forward to this all year. So the next day, Monday morning, I got my coffee, I went upstairs, lit a Christmas candle, just to, set a festive mood. I had a ton of work to do though, so I knew that I was going to have to just spend the whole day working. In fact, I think I even said to John, let's just not watch a movie tonight, let's just work all day. So that is what we both did. My office is like such a disaster with like listing things, shipping things. It's like out of hand. Also like filming videos, and it needed some work. So I dedicated the entire day to listing and getting organized and cleaning in there so that I wouldn't feel so overwhelmed every time I walked in. But after we had gotten started working for a little bit, John went down and got bagels from the same place we had gone on the weekend because they're so good. They're like homemade fresh bagels, and they're probably some of the best bagels I've ever had in my life. And they actually toast them. Like, I hate when you get a bagel and it's not very toasted. It's just like warm bread. Well, they know how to toast a bagel, and I like my bagel pretty much burnt. And they know now. They know when we're coming in, like how we want it. It's just nice. So in between doing other work and stuff, I also was doing laundry. So our dryer has not been working the greatest, but I don't really want to spend money on a new one. So I've just been drying clothes. Most of the summer I was drying clothes on the line, but now that it's kind of getting into winter, I've had this folding rack for a number of years. So I've just been drying clothes on this rack, and it's perfect when you have like forced air heating because you have floor vents. So I just put it next to a vent, and just with the natural heat coming to heat the house, it dries the clothes fairly quick. So I also got a package from Amazon, which was very exciting. They finally had my Mrs. Meyer's peppermint dish soap in stock. So I already had the cleaner and some hand soap, so I wanted to get some dish soap for the season. It just smells so good, and it's just I don't know, it's like such a small, simple thing, but it just makes me happy. I also got some adapters for our lamps in the basement because we had gotten some thrifted some vintage lampshades, but they didn't actually fit on the lamps we had, so I ordered those adapters. I'm just frying up some bologna for us to eat for a meal here, and I'm roasting some broccoli and then also the leftover mac and cheese from the day before. And this meal as well was so good. we love broccoli here, so we eat a lot of it. Even though I've had it a bunch, I'm still always amazed at how much it looks like real bologna whenever I fry it like that. So after we ate, I went downstairs to get the lamps, the new shades, well, new to us shades. So we had found these at Salvation Army before it closed, and they were having a 50% off sale, so we got them each for $1.50. John had previously found these shades, but they weren't really my vibe, so I think these ones look much better. I'm very happy that they're done. I think it very much fits with the like 70s aesthetic more down there. So then, I'm not sure if this is the same day or not, but John went out and bought a curtain rod for me to use I'd recently picked up some vintage curtains. I showed them in a haul, and I wanted to get those up in the dining room, so I'd washed them in the washer. So John went out and picked up a few things. So he got me the curtain rod, he got me some potting soil too, because I've been like trying to grow vegetables from seeds, and yeah, he also got me a bunch of glue sticks because I plan on doing a bunch of Christmas crafting. And so he just bought I think he bought me 6 or 8 packs of them, so those should last a little while. Although I don't know about anybody else, but I feel like glue sticks just go so quick. I feel like I just put one in and then I'm needing another one. And then since I've been making these homemade faux turkey roasts, I was I really wish that we had a baster, which is not something I ever thought I would say, but he bought a baster for us too. And then I found more of my Christmas china on Facebook Marketplace. So it's a set of 4, which I'm really excited about. And I think the guy had 25 on it, but he only charged John 15 when John messaged. He was like, yeah, $15 and you can take it. So that was really cool. So these cups are different than the cups that I already had. They're more of a coffee cup, I guess. And then these bowls, I do not have any of this style bowls, so it was kind of neat. Really, I was mostly wanting additional dinner plates because I think I only have 7. So I thought it would be so cool to find another one, but it was really cool. Although I think they made different versions of this china. So I think this is a cheaper version. I think it's called Gibson Everyday or something. I noticed that the plate felt smaller, so I wanted to see if it was just in my head or if I was actually in fact right and it was smaller. And when I held it up to the plate I have, it was probably, maybe it was an inch smaller all around. I think that these ones, like I said, were a cheaper variety or a more affordable version, but it's the same pattern, so I don't think it really matters. But you can feel the weight difference as well. The cheaper ones feel lighter, so I don't know what that means, but I was happy to have many more pieces added to the collection for extremely cheap. So the next morning, John went and got us a bagel again, and I made us a chickpea omelet style patty. We had that in there. And then for lunch, I made us these turkey club wraps with the turkey that I made the other day. And he went down and got us some fries. I don't know what it is about these fries, but they're the best fries I've had in my entire life. I don't know what it is that makes them that way, but they just taste better than any fry I've ever had, so I'm slightly addicted to them, and it's super convenient too because we've been really busy. So after I ate lunch that day, I decided I was gonna wash all of that china and get that done, and then I knew that I had to get to the curtain situation, or I didn't have to, but I wanted to. So these are the curtains that we've previously had, which are not vintage, and they're grommet style, which is not my favorite, but I do like the pattern of them, so I am keeping them in case I want to use them somewhere else. But I got the curtain rod up. I had to actually extend it out a little past the frame because it was too big. It wouldn't shrink anymore, but every time I see these old style curtain pins, I pick them up. So I had a big supply on hand. So I just put the curtains up wet after I had washed them because they're right above the heating vent, so I knew they would just dry on the, you know, on the rod. But as soon as I got them up, I just knew that it was the right decision, and I was so happy that I had found them. I feel like it just fits the vibe in here so well, and they're in such good condition too. I think I paid $15 for both panels, but it's just amazing. I love them. It's just totally my aesthetic. And they actually are like not as sheer as the ones that are up there, so it's kind of nice on that front as well. But yeah, I just I look for vintage curtains almost every time I go thrifting, which I don't go thrifting that much, but like I haven't had great success in finding them. But then I found these ones that I was going to use in the living room, but they ended up not being the right size. But just for the hell of it, I threw them up on this window, which is also in the dining room, and I actually really like it. So I hadn't washed them or anything because I didn't think I was going to keep them, so the tag is still up there. But once I got them up, I thought, actually, I kind of like this. So these are the curtains that I had up there, which I previously had in my kitchen in our old apartment, but they won't fit the windows in the kitchen here. Although I have a plan for them, so hopefully that works out. If it does, I'm sure you'll see it. So after I got some like housework and all that curtain stuff done, I decided to make some cookies. So I just got this box mix of cookies down at our little mini mall. They have like a little mini grocery store that just opened. So exciting. We live in the middle of nowhere, so it was a very big deal. Anyway, these cookies were super easy. You just had to add some butter, some nut butter of your choice, and then 1 egg. So I'm just substituting that with like a flax egg, which you just mix flax and water, and it kind of like creates this gelatinous, I don't know if that's the right word, kind of, I don't know. It works just like an egg, basically. So I chose peanut butter, even though I have other nut butters, because I thought it would be like, you know, a nice peanut butter oatmeal chocolate chip cookie, and they were delicious. So I'm going to get some more of that. And then I put away the china that I had just got because it was all dry and everything. And I've been having such good luck this year finding pieces. I'm just so excited to be like building that collection. Still looking for a gravy boat. I might have to break down and buy that from eBay, but very exciting. And the cookies were very good. So then it was movie time again. So we were going to watch Bad Moms Christmas, which is really funny, but like kind of inappropriate at the same time. Just an FYI. But it was actually a widescreen version, so it looked really bad on our 1970s TVs, like, you know, square tube TV. So then we just switched to The Preacher's Wife, which we have on VHS, which is an amazing movie, another one of my favorite modern Christmas films. And this is actually a remake of a movie from the 1930s, I believe, called The Bishop's Wife. But I do really love this version. It's a Penny Marshall movie, so you know it's going to be a good movie just by that. But it has Whitney Houston and Denzel Washington, who are both amazing in it. And yeah, I like watching this one every year too. I might be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure this is streaming on Disney Plus, at least in Canada. Anyway, that is it for my kind of random mishmash of different kind of getting in the holiday spirit moments over the last few weeks. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I am thinking about maybe vlogging a little bit more during the holiday season because it's my favorite time of year and I just love it so much. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you again real soon.